To find out about this adaptation of the character, I will be your guide as we delve into the evolution of Superman through the DC animated universe. Number 1. Superman the Animated Series. Kal-El makes his debut in this universe from the planet Krypton. As his father Jor-El had the forethought that Krypton would explode, he and his wife Laura sent his son to Earth just before it did. Traveling through the cosmos, his spaceship lands in Smallville, where he is discovered by Jonathan and Martha Kent, who decide to adopt him and name him Clark. We cut to Clark several years later, where his powers begin kicking in.
In the last few months, I've been hearing things, things I couldn't before.
He's initially confused, but after his adoptive parents show him his spaceship, he activates a neuropathic hologram that reveals his true heritage.
You are the sole survivor of Krypton, a planet similar to Earth in many ways.
And how he has powers.
Your Kryptonian body draws its strength from Earth's yellow sun.
It will give you abilities that no other human has.
He becomes angry in denial, believing he's a freak, but discovers he can fly. In another time jump, a grown-up Clark makes his way to Metropolis to work at the Daily Planet. There, he meets Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, impresses Lois.
I apologize. You're not the Rube Hayseed I took you for.
Thanks, I think.
And makes his public debut to save her. After Lois dubs him Superman,
He's strong, he flies, he's the Nietzschean fantasy ideal all wrapped up in a red cape.
Clark realizes that the city might panic because of his sudden appearance, so he grants Lois an exclusive interview to tell his story.
I'm not here to scare anyone. In fact, I've always tried to help people whenever possible.
But his interference in problems bigger than him creates a long-lasting and powerful enemy, Lex Luthor. This is only the start of the rivalry, which will span across almost every series. As Superman, he faces his growing rogues gallery of supervillains like Brainiac, Parasite, Metallo, and Toyman. Meanwhile, he also has a unique relationship with the intergalactic bounty hunter, Lobo.
What was that for?
Didn't want you to think I'm going soft on you.
Throughout his journey, he saves Lois from danger and becomes fond of her, but he also meets Professor Hamilton. Hamilton not only explains that Superman's weakness is kryptonite,
the green radiation could have been created by the energy released in the cataclysmic explosion which destroyed your planet.
And that he can be shielded by lead, but he also creates special suits for Superman's unique adventures and helps him understand Kryptonian technology. Number 2. The New Batman Adventures. Onto the sequel show to Batman the Animated Series, Superman makes only one appearance in the background, but it still marks the first crossover with another series. The episode starts with the ventriloquist, Arnold Wesker, being released from Arkham Asylum. After experiencing a series of positive events, a good home, and a job, that's when things worsen. He begins to be tormented by Scarface, his alternate personality, which he thought was suppressed, until he begins hearing his voice and seeing him everywhere. As he struggles to cope with it, Arnold takes a walk through a park to clear his head, and that's when we see Clark and Lois casually sitting on the grass. It's an unexpected crossover, although I don't actually know what they're doing there. Maybe there's a big story in Gotham and they're just taking a break. Number 3. Superman the Animated Series. As we dive back into the series for the final 3 seasons, Superman's adventures take an intense turn, shaping his character and public image. His rogues gallery continues to grow with the likes of Mixius Bitlick, Livewire, Luminous, Bizarro, and one of his biggest rivals yet, Darkseid.
Think of it, Superman. The power you have now, it's nothing compared with what I'm offering you.
Although his experiences often involve getting injured and confronting enemies alone, he teams up with other superheroes such as Steel, Supergirl, Green Lantern, Flash, Dr. Fate, Aquaman, and most prominently Batman. He and the Dark Knight initially have their differences upon first meeting.
Bruce Wayne. You peaked. I won't have vigilantism in my town.
But after teaming up to stop Lex Luthor and the Joker, they forge a long-lasting friendship.
There's always the direct approach. You're learning.
In addition to his alliances, Superman embarks on crazy adventures like fighting Kryptonian criminals, discovering his weakness to magic, finding his cousin, stopping Darkseid's invasion, Clark Kent being targeted, and even ruling Metropolis in another dimension after losing Lois in the crossfire.
I may be a lot like your Lois, but you're nothing like the Superman I know. He's no tyrant.
While most of the citizens in Metropolis wholly trust Superman, a pivotal character arc alters their perception of him. Upon investigating a disturbance in space, he falls into a trap and is taken to Apocalypse, where Granny Goodness awaits his arrival to brainwash him. She manipulates his memories.
He nurtured your powers and taught you of his great mission to bring order to a lawless universe.
So he becomes a servant and pawn to Darkseid, who sends Superman to conquer Earth in his name. The world is shocked by his identity. However, it's Lois who helps him overcome his brainwashing.
You've always tried to help and protect, not destroy. What's happened to you?
Regardless, Professor Hamilton becomes his first close ally, who struggles to trust him. Driven by his anger at Darkseid's deception, Superman travels to Apocalypse to stop him once and for all, and though he's victorious, the damage to Earth has been done. Convinced that no one will ever trust him again,
The bum ought to go back where he came from.
I used to consider him my friend, but now...
Lois convinces him otherwise, insisting that he can regain their trust. Number 4. Superman, Brainiac attacks. Although the animation style and a few of the voice cast are the same as in Superman the Animated Series, this film isn't part of or canon to the DCAU. I know that if I did include it, many dedicated fans of the DCAU fandom would probably comment, but why did you include it? I can say that there are definitely continuity gaps, but the credit for this analysis goes to the YouTube channel Watchtower Database, who broke down the film and compared it to the entire DCAU timeline. Since the creator of the DCAU, Bruce Timm, never intended for this film to be a part of it, he never considered it canon. But nonetheless, the film is still getting a shout out and recognition for visually having a DCAU Superman. So let's move on. Number 5. Gotham Girls. Now it's a web series set in the DCAU, which follows the adventures of Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Batgirl. Only one episode features Superman, and while it's a cameo, it's probably not in the way you think. In the episode titled Baby Boom, Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn travel to the Gotham Wax Museum with sights to steal the crown jewels from a Princess Ajani figure. Ivy reveals she plans to expose the guards to her secret pollen, but Harley sniffs it and learns firsthand that it makes you a baby infant. So while Ivy distracts the guards, baby Harley embarks on an adventure to explore the Wax Museum. Viewers even get to make choices for Harley or whether she will check out some statues. Among these selections are wax figures of Joker, Satana, Lobo, and finally the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Number 6. Justice League. In the first massive crossover series, a secret invasion brings Superman together with Earth's greatest heroes. It all starts when he has nightmares that lead him to Martian Manhunter.
He's been trying to reach out to me telepathically, but that stasis field interfered. When his message finally broke through, I came to rescue him.
Where he and Batman uncover that the Imperium has infiltrated Earth to take over. So with other superheroes, including Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Wonder Woman, and The Flash, they join forces to fight. After taking down their weapons, returning light to the planet, and exploiting their weakness, Superman and the others force them to retreat. However, realizing they can do more good together than alone,
I once thought I could protect the world by myself, but I was wrong. Working together, we saved the planet.
Superman proposes they create a team to enforce peace.
What? Like a bunch of super friends?
More like a Justice League.
Since the League's formation, Superman embarks on many adventures, some of which play a big part in his life and character arc. In the first season, the series showcases his mission to prove GL is innocent of a galactic crime.
Ajuris 4 was never destroyed. It's right where it always was. It was all an illusion.
His ongoing rivalry with Lex Luthor, being kidnapped to Warworld, where he battles its tyrannic ruler, Mongol, and traveling back in time to help the Allied forces when Vandal Savage changes the present. Superman's journey is more significant in the second and final season, where he has a dramatic facial change that doesn't make him look older than he actually is. The last season ramps up the action as Superman unleashes his anger on Darkseid when he returns because he turned him against the Earth.
We know he used you, brainwashed you, and turned you loose against Earth.
Facing his doppelganger, who in another universe killed President Lex Luthor and became Earth's ruler.
Lock me up, but I'll beat it, and then we'll start the whole thing all over again.
Being transported to the future while everyone in the present believes he died.
Disintegrator beam he hit me with.
An energized tachyon stream. That's what sent you into the future.
And fighting off against the Thanagarian army when they invade Earth.
Pretty bad odds.
Yeah, they don't stand a chance.
However, after saving Batman, tensions rise as the League votes on Hawkgirl's membership, as she was a traitor but helped stop the invasion. She leaves before they reveal their decision, but just remember this moment, because it will come back later. Number 7. Static Shock. Following Superman's adventures with the League, we head to Dakota, where a giant robot toy monkey attacks a school bus full of students, including Virgil and Richie. So naturally, they suit up as Static and gear to battle it, only to be captured by it. As Static sarcastically calls for help, Superman responds,
I'll take that offer,
and swoops in to rescue him. Although the monkey crushes him with a school bus, Superman returns the favor. Gear is bummed for missing out on a team up with Superman because of his ankle. After Superman x-rays it,
Whoa, I just had my ankle x-rayed by Superman. I'm never gonna wash it again.
And flies away, he goes to their high school to investigate as Clark.
You two saw the fight? Where were you when it happened? Can I quote you two on that?
As he spots Darcy, Toyman's mechanical companion who tried to escape, he chats with her, explaining that he understands why Toyman is in Dakota. Suddenly, another toy arrives to kidnap a brilliant student named Daisy, realizing that Toyman's not here for Darcy.
One of these crazy clowns got away with a student.
A student? I thought he was after...
So he and Static investigate her house for clues and track them to a factory, discovering that Darcy wants to become human. Not just any human, but to replace Daisy. They confront Toyman, but he sends an army of kryptonite soldiers after Superman. While Superman struggles to escape, Static shorts out the soldiers to get him to a safe distance. However, there's another problem. With two identical Daisies, it's challenging to differentiate the original from Darcy. Superman quickly uses his X-ray, which proves futile.
Toyman was able to duplicate the real Daisy right down to her DNA. Even I can't tell the synthetic from the organic.
Until Static pulls a cool trick from his sleeve.
Every human has an electrical aura that surrounds them, and I can make it visible.
Superman gives Static the credit for helping save Daisy, before offering an opportunity when he returns to Metropolis.
If you ever need a sidekick or someone to watch the Fortress of Solitude while you're out of town...
You're at the top of the list.
Number 8. Justice League Unlimited. In the action-packed sequel to the original series, Superman leads the expanded Justice League in their mission of being Earth's guardians.
Since there are so many of us, we have a chance to do more than just put out fires, both literal and figurative.
His journey through the series is epic, as each season brings new challenges for the Man of Steel. The first arc is focused on the League's thrilling adventures, as Superman is exposed to a creature that simulates a life if Krypton was never destroyed.
I fashioned a prison that you couldn't leave without sacrificing your heart's desire.
Is transformed into a kid to stop a powerful child sorcerer.
This better be temporary. You sound weird. Whoa, so do I.
Stops waves of alien technology, and fights a lifeless Solomon Grundy. This is where he meets Hawkgirl, revealing that she's welcome to rejoin the League, as he broke the vote from before, believing in redemption after his brainwashing ordeal.
I believe in second chances, but mostly, I believe in my friends.
The second arc revolves around the battle between the Justice League and the secret government division Cadmus. They were created because Superman went rogue, and he assassinated the president in another universe and took over. Because of Cadmus, Superman faces off against Doomsday and ultimately sends him to the Phantom Zone.
I only use this as a last resort. It's gonna send you to another dimension. You won't be hurt, but you also won't hurt anyone else again.
Is manipulated into fighting Captain Marvel in front of the public.
Demolishing Lexor City while those media morons filmed every horrific moment.
Learns that Professor Hamilton is a high member of Cadmus.
One little scare and you betray us? You stole Kara's DNA, violated her trust, my trust.
Turns himself in for a crime that Lex framed the League for, and fights a Lex and Brainiac hybrid. Later, believing the League has failed the public, Superman decides to disband the team, but thanks to Green Arrow,
The world needs the Justice League, and the Justice League needs you, Superman.
Superman reconsiders with some changes.
Maybe we could open an embassy on Earth so we can be closer to the people. We could have a rotating staff.
The final season focuses on the League against Gorilla Grodd's secret society, ultimately leading to Darkseid's return and another invasion. After being forced to work with Lex and supervillains to protect Earth,
We'll need all the bodies we can throw at this.
Oh, come on, it's Lex flippin' Luthor.
Superman battles an army of parademons and encounters Darkseid. He reveals that he constantly worries about losing control as someone might get hurt, but in this case,
What we have here is a rare opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am.
he unleashes his full power to stop Darkseid. Darkseid retaliates, and surprise, it's Lex who saves Superman and sacrifices himself to stop Darkseid.
In the wake of Darkseid's defeat, his attacking forces have withdrawn.
Thanks to Luthor, of all people.
Number 9. Justice League vs. the Fatal Five. Following his long adventures with the League, he finally appears in his first DCAU film. When a sphere is en route to hit Metropolis, Superman makes an entrance by swooping in to save a kid from it.
You really kept your cool in a dangerous situation. But next time, it's okay to run.
Questioning what the sphere is, he takes it to League headquarters so Mr. Terrific can inspect it. Mr. Terrific struggles to get results and believes he's in heaven because he loves a challenge, which prompts him to question what's inside. So Superman uses his X-ray vision, revealing he can't see through it even though it isn't lead, so he believes it's out of sync with the present.
Not bad, Soup. You are your father's son.
My dad was a farmer.
I meant the other one.
When they finally open it,
Great row.
3 supervillains from the future attack. Although Superman successfully retaliates, the Persuader cuts him, causing him to bleed and pass out. Mr. Terrific takes him to the Metro Tower to heal, where he reveals how Superman bled.
Kryptonite?
No, some kind of axe. Had to be sharpened to less than a nanometer to cut him.
Batman confirms they're from the 31st century after telling the others that Starboy, a superhero from the future, is searching to protect Green Lantern.
He did have a strong reaction to your little scuffle, Clark.
Yes, it's healing slowly and I'm in a fair amount of pain. Thanks for asking.
Following a scuffle with the villains, Superman saves Jessica Cruz, and the League learns about the Fatal Five. Suddenly, they receive a bomb threat not to destroy Metropolis in exchange for Jessica. When they refuse, and the bombs explode, Superman rushes to save innocents and incinerates the bombs. However, elsewhere, the five escape and regroup, so the League heads after them. Superman then attacks the Persuader and battles Validus, but when the Emerald Empress sends her eye to destroy the sun and wipe out humanity, Superman chases after it.
I hope it's not too late.
Although he fails to stop it from colliding, Starboy makes the ultimate heroic sacrifice to save the sun, while Superman rescues Jessica again. Number 10. Space Jam: A New Legacy. You're probably wondering how Superman could appear in this kind of film, especially the DCAU adaptation. Well, the short story is that DC owns the rights to every adaptation of Superman, and Warner Brothers owns the rights to both DC and Space Jam. I won't give the whole story because he only appears briefly, but I'll talk about the story leading up to him. So, picture this. LeBron James is transported into the Warner Brothers serververse, where each planet represents every Warner Brothers property. He teams up with Bugs Bunny and heads to the DC planet to recruit a basketball player, like a well-known superhero, but ends up chasing a runaway train in Metropolis. That's when we catch a glimpse of Clark getting ready to suit up as the accelerating train passes him. And when the train goes off the rails, destroys the ice near the Fortress of Solitude, and is about to crash into an orphanage, Superman swoops in to save the day. He looks disappointed in Daffy Duck for causing it, as the League appears behind him. Anyway, I can tell you right now that this Superman isn't canon. Like the film Superman Brainiac Attacks, Superman visually looks like the one in the DCAU, as well as Jimmy, Lois, and the League, but then there would be a lot of continuity errors. So let's just acknowledge the similarities and carry on. Number 11. My Adventures with Superman. Onto a DC animated series that isn't a part of the DCAU timeline comes a fresh reboot of Superman's story. When Clark prepares for his first date with Lois, and overdoes it I might add to make it perfect, things take a bizarre turn when Mr. Mxyzptlk shows up at his door. The multiversal chaos god wants Clark's help for a mission, and being a menace that can deceive and manipulate anything, he hides his true target. Clark tries to refuse, claiming he's not Superman and wants to get back to planning his date. You know how he likes to keep his identity secret? Mxyzptlk says otherwise as he opens up the topic of the multiverse when he transformed Clark into his and alternate versions of Superman.
There are infinite universes out there, pal, and infinite Superman!
One of his variants includes the DCAU adaptation of Superman, which makes a very brief cameo, as Mxyzptlk classifies the DCAU as Earth 508. Additionally, in the headquarters of the League of Loises, a multiversal peacekeeping force, we can see the DCAU Lois as one of its original members. Later, the series' Lois accesses a device that reveals evil versions of Superman across the multiverse. Here we briefly see what appears to be the Justice Lord Superman, which hints it is DCAU canon, as we discussed his Superman earlier in the Justice League series. Compared to his other appearances outside the DCAU, not only is this the DCAU Superman, but I believe this one is canon with a lack of continuity gaps. Like how many people say that Tobey and Andrew's Spider-Man is now canon to the MCU because of the multiverse, the same logic can be applied here. If you guys disagree, let me know why in the comments. Number 12. Batman Beyond. Here comes his final DCAU appearance when he shows up in a dramatic 2-part episode. After watching Batman chase his supervillain Ink, their battle is taken to a biopark and Ink takes Superman as a hostage. Batman believes he's an innocent bystander until he reveals himself. Superman accompanies him to the Batcave, where Clark reunites with Bruce, showcasing their long-lasting friendship.
You seem to be holding up pretty well.
I could use some of that Kryptonian DNA.
You'll outlive us all, Bruce.
Revealing his true intentions in Gotham.
I've studied him. He's proved his valor. His time has come, Bruce. I think it's time your protege joined the Justice League.
Superman takes Batman to League HQ, and while the League themselves are furious, Superman says the final word.
This isn't up for discussion. Like it or not, Batman stays.
As they leave the room, Superman tells Batman he's the only one he can trust, as the JLU member, Micron, was attacked, but it was an inside job. Superman wants Batman to spy on them to find the traitor, as they later uncover another attack on Aquagirl. After responding to an emergency to save innocents, Warhawk is seemingly killed, so Batman investigates, only to learn that Superman is the traitor. The League confronts him.
I do know there's a traitor here. That's why I brought him in.
You did bring me in, but that doesn't make you innocent.
But he escapes to the Fortress of Solitude. After Batman weakens him with kryptonite, they discover the alien creature Starro, and Aquagirl communicates with it. She learns that after one of Superman's early adventures, he kept extinct creatures in his fortress as he couldn't return them home. However, Starro took control of his mind and body. When Starros begin controlling the League, Superman chases Batman until Batman gives him enough strength to fight Starro's hold on him. Together, they rescue the League, stop the invasion of other Starros,
Cal, what are you doing?
Aquagirl must have opened the gate. I've got to block it.
and return them home.
Barda, these creatures never asked to come here. We have no right to kill them.
Back to his old self again.
Batman agrees to be a part-time member instead of full-time, so Superman claims he's a lot like the original.
It'll put you one up on the old Batman.
Yeah, he wasn't what you'd call a joiner.
What's your favorite adaptation of the DCAU Superman? Put on the cape and let me know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to stay updated on my latest content. Thanks again to my patrons for keeping this channel going, and I'll see you all in the next video.